Gail McKenna, 1988. Serbian actress and beauty Nadia Regan, 1953. October 9th, 65. New York World's Fair. Young red-headed son of Mr. John Semenya of Yonkers, New York. (1960) Plymouth Belvedere hardtop on Boston Street, 1964, along with a going 1959 Chevrolet wagon. Boston, 1963. Records for sale in Hi-Fi Store, where the Fi goes at least as high as Blaupunkt Multiplex Stereo. Chrysler Pavilion under construction, New York World's Fair, 1964. New York, 1961. Mayoral campaign car with loudspeakers. Sherry Biltmore Fire, Boston, 1963. Aftermath of the 5-alarm blaze that killed 4 on March 29, 1963. San Francisco circa 1919. Columbia 6 touring car. Note the rakishly tilted windshield. (1964) New York State Pavilion, New York World's Fair. The mezzanine tour looks just about our speed. From a newspaper morgue somewhere in California comes this undated medium format mid-century negative with the sketchy notation. Oakland Service Station. Who can help us to fill in the blanks? Circa 1910. Columbus, Ohio, from Great Southern Hotel. Photobombed by the mail pouch tobacco horse. Tropical greenery notwithstanding, this isn't Bora Bora, Anaheim, or even Orlando. 1965. Monorail Station, New York World's Fair, Flushing Meadows, is the caption. This Australian 1959 Ford Fairlane 500 is a close relative to the Yank tank. The Victoria license plate GZT 500 matches the model number nicely. June 7, 1957. Exterior scenes in St. George, Utah. Local residents being interviewed about their feelings on nuclear testing. October 11, 1961. New York Civil Defense Commission Family Shelter Display. Man and woman at stove cooking. Somewhere in America circa 1954, and it seems to be a big day for Junior. Maybe he just got his driver's license, or his first car, or figured out how to open the door. From the mid-1950s, somewhere in the US of A, come these two boys arguing about who's hotter. Feel free to improvise your own caption in the comments. San Francisco circa 1920. Franklin Auto at Franklin Motor Car Company. Note the Yellowstone Park sticker. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1951. Military funeral. One in a series of photos showing a quartet of flag-draped caskets. Georgia historians, please fill in the blanks. Judy Wangle is all it says here. Who knew Judy? San Francisco, 1930. Essex Super 6 climbing Webster Street Hill. Elgin, Illinois, circa 1956. Pony eating cake at birthday party. It's a living. Circa 1958. Plymouth meets Peaches in the first of a series of car crash photos taken in and around Oakland, California. Oakland, California, circa 1957. Collision aerial. Aftermath of a crash between a Kaiser sedan and a 1957 Chevy Coupe. Reno, Nevada in the summer of 1972. This is another Kodachrome slide from a small trove we recently found at my friend's house. This time you'll look in vain for me in funny clothes, because I wasn't along on this trip. Oakland, California, circa 1959. Garbage truck accident. With lots of vintage unsorted refuse destined for the landfill or incinerator. Or, in this case, your front lawn. American actress Michelle Bauer, 1979. Circa 1908. Wood Street, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A good look at the street rail infrastructure in place 115 years ago. Oakland, California, circa 1958. Another look at the motor mashup seen here yesterday. August 1941. Cowboy in the Corral at Quarter Circle U, Brewster Arnold Ranch Company, Bernie, Montana. From somewhere around Columbus, Georgia, circa 1957 comes this unidentified lady on a Schwinn, pre-spandex. Circa 1903. Unloading fish at T Wharf, Boston, Massachusetts. San Francisco, circa 1926. Alice Joyce and Beau Jess Locomobile, evidently promoting the film. Oakland, California, circa 1958. Our third look at the collision between a Plymouth sedan and GMC tractor. November 1942. Track crews repairing tracks in the roundhouse at the Illinois Central Rail Yard, Chicago. Columbus, Georgia, in 1951. Mrs. Luther Wolf and her brood of squirrels. Nuts will make your children strong. San Francisco, 1920. Moon touring car and tire chains in Golden Gate Park. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1960. Municipal pool. Oakland, California, circa 1958. Wrecked autocar reefer. August 1941. Cowba and horse at the Quarter Circle U, Brewster Arnold Ranch Company, Bernie, Montana. Circa 1903. Fishing schooner at T Wharf, Boston, with ice at the ready. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1959. Swim camp. Boys at park. Making a break from the bus. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1953. Snow's Laundry, with plenty of free parking for your car, bike, or wagon. San Francisco circa 1925. Nash Special 6 two-door sedan. Equipped with full balloon tires, 5-disc wheels, 4-wheel brakes, Duco finish, mohair upholstery. From circa 1960 comes this uncaptioned news archive photo of a family whose reading would seem to favor religious and inspirational titles, chief among them the Bible and Mother's Lap. (1908) Spalding Hotel, Duluth, Minnesota. Next door to the more intimate Hotel Windsor. Oakland, California, circa 1955. Wrecked Buick, a 1953 super convertible. Long before airbags, there were collapsible steering columns and dish steering wheels. And before that, there was this. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. The beautiful and charming Linda Lusardi, 1979. Model stunning Gail McKenna, 1988. Charming Tina Louise, 1956, Hayloft photo shoot. Main Street in Friendship, Wisconsin, at the Friendship Hotel, is the answer, supplied by lifelong Wisconsin resident, Wiskajim. Clap, clap, clap. One of our annual trips from New Jersey to Florida circa 1951 to 52. This was pre-interstate days and we traveled US 17, 301 or sometimes A1A. Not sure which ferry this is. With mom, sister, and older brother. Oakland circa 1958, and yet another motoring mishap. The clipboard reads Cecil Price, OPD. (1906). Looking east, Boston, Massachusetts. Showing Boston Harbor and, at lower left, historic Faneuil Hall. January 10th, 1925. Washington, D.C. Fire at S. Ken's Warehouse, 8th and D Streets, NW. San Francisco circa 1923. Barley Motor Car. the 6 to 50 touring model of this exceedingly obscure marque. The Old Dominion circa 1912. Richmond, Virginia, Panorama. April 1942. Hollywood, California. Girl on the street. Note the aspirational hat. Oakland or vicinity circa 1957. Collision with bus. Futuramic Oldsmobile meets military shuttle. And as long as we're at Frank's, how about a Coke? In bottles, of course. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1952. Library staff. On the premises of the Columbus Inquirer. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1957. TV classroom. Today's lesson. What is an insect? New York, circa 1910. Madison Square Square Monument at Broadway and Fifth Avenue. Washington, D.C., 1912. Football Georgetown Carlisle game, Glenn Warner. The College Football Hall of Famer who was coach of the Carlisle, PA, Indian Industrial School. From sometime in the 1950s in the vicinity of Columbus, Georgia, comes this unidentified pugilist. Columbus, Georgia. Oldsmobile dealer. The Golden Rocket 88 Holiday Sedan for 1957. San Francisco, circa 1922. Haynes touring car. Even your wife can drive it, and it's safe enough for the kids. Oakland, California, circa 1957, and another motoring mishap, an Alvila Meat Company truck that seems to have broken through the sidewalk. San Francisco, 1921. Sonora Fire Department, Tuolumne County. REO trucks at Engine Company No. 15 Firehouse, California Street. Oakland, circa 1957, and another car crash involving an early 1950s Buick, conveniently close to the offices of the Oakland Tribune. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1955. Don Wasson is all it says here. In addition to, meet me at Lee's. circa 1962. Another uncaptioned snap from the news archive. Which way to the club meeting? (1905). Washington Avenue, Newport News, Virginia. A lesson in receding lines of perspective. September 2nd, 1945. Japanese Foreign Minister Mamoru Shigemitsu signing the document of surrender aboard the U.S. battleship Missouri in Tokyo Bay as General Douglas MacArthur and members of the Allied delegations watch. Oakland, California, circa 1958. Car crash, night. Mercury versus Buick in a well-attended bout. October 1942. High School Victory Corps. In true commando style, this young student at Flushing High School, Queens, New York, is learning to take care of himself no matter what the circumstances may be. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1953. Housing. Visited by the snow laundry truck. Beautiful English model and actress, Carol Needham, 1981. (1942). Hollywood, California. Tire service station. Mosher Tire, next door to the Dick's Hotel. June 17, 1947. Paul Mellon residence in Upperville, Virginia. Timian Hobby Horse. San Francisco, circa 1925. Ario touring car at Golden Gate Park. Knoxville, Tennessee, circa 1906. Girls High School. Note the spiral staircase fire escape. Oh, and look at the time. Two-car families. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1960. 3 Fords, an Oldsmobile and a Pontiac. Circa 1960, a junior firefighter and his truck from the Columbus, Georgia, housing series of photos. My 6th grade class at M.T. Rose Elementary School in York, Pennsylvania, 1971 to 1972. If we had not yet reached the awkward phase, we sure were close. The chap on the far right in the first row later had a career in Hollywood. Craig Sheffer. Columbus, Georgia. Housing January 18, 51. If this lady's 5 calendars are any guide, the caption is a month off. Oakland, California, circa 1958. Collision and fire. A 1956 Chevrolet Bel Air barbecue. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1948. Housing AC chicken house dwelling. These youngsters may be poor, but they seem to be comics literate. Columbus, Georgia. Housing January 18, 51. First in a series from the news archive showing slums supposedly in need of clearance. San Francisco, 1923. Buick touring car Ridgewood Hereford. A budding cattle baron and his steed, ready for the roundup. North Columbus Recreation Department 1952. What seems to be a ceremony involving ribbons and cake. Portland, Maine, circa 1909. Congress Street south from Market. At right, City Hall in the final stages of construction. Circa 1962, a newspaper photographer or two from either Columbus, Georgia, or Chicago. One thing we know for certain is that the camera is a Mamiya Flex. Parade. Somewhere down south circa 1961. Who can tell us where? Oakland circa 1958. Collision at Martinique restaurant. 2. Smoking? Right this way. San Francisco circa 1920. REO Speedwagon Truck McRory McLaren Company Nursery. Chicago circa 1960. Educational tapes. Specifically the Electronic Educator tape cartridge system. Georgia circa 1907. National Bank of Savannah, Bull Street. Completed 1905. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. American actress Apollonia Cotero 1979. American actress and singer Barbara Eden 1953. English model Gail McKenna. Photo shoot 1988. Oakland, California, circa 1955, and another crepuscular rendezvous of vehicular violence. Musical family The Osmonds. Specifically which Osmonds we leave up to you. Florida circa 1894. Hotel Royal Poinciana, Palm Beach. January 16, 1946. Edgar Bergen, Charlie McCarthy. San Francisco circa 1928. Nash Special 6 on Gough Street at Lafayette Park. September 22, 1951. New York City Housing Authority. Astoria Houses, Queens. Exterior, East River Park with children. Clark, Rapwano Holleran, Landscape Architects. February 1936. Children at the El Monte Subsistence Homesteads, California. April 18, 1925. Washington, D.C. Geo-Washington High Interclass Track Meet at Central High. April 18, 1925. Washington, D.C. Geo-Washington High Interclass Track Meet at Central High. New York circa 1903. Flatiron Building, 5th Avenue and Broadway. May 6, 1965. World's Fair, Flushing, Long Island. Robert Francis Vargo from Verplanck, New York, with Madame Grace Sia Chu cooking Chinese spare ribs at Festival of Gas. San Francisco circa 1921. Marmon Ducal Landaulet at Spreckles Mansion. October 1935. Making cornbread with relief flour. Shenandoah National Park, Virginia. Oakland, California, circa 1957, and a compacted Chrysler. We declare pole S1270 for the winner. Acapulco, 1961. James Coburn, Ralph Tager and three curvaceous castmates in Mexico, from the very short-lived, 8 episodes, NBC TV series. February 1936. El Monte, California, Federal Subsistence Homesteads. Foreign family. 3-room house, $17.70 monthly rent to apply on purchase. Father's occupation, carpenter. Earns $70 a month. No date, no location, but I found a reference to an article with the same title from the Saturday Evening Post of January 16, 1954. September 8, 1943. Soprano Lucio Manners, NBC radio star, right wrong way to wrap packages for servicemen overseas. San Francisco circa 1915. Valley 4-passenger coupe at Golden Gate Park. Sunday, April 3, 1960. 9 p.m. NBC, Dinah Shore Show. Circa 1950, it's the latest installment of the exciting new reality series, Dental Office. From circa 1950 in Anytown, USA, we present Dental Office. New York circa 1905. Curling in Central Park. Citing the curling cue for a banked shot into the corner pocket. Circa 1907. Fountain Square, Cincinnati. Dry goods, dentists, and the Western Tray Factory. San Francisco circa 1920. Chalmers touring car on Van Ness Avenue. At F.J. Lynn's Motor Company, your Scripps booth dealer. With a streetcar squeezing by. San Francisco circa 1890s. California Street from Sansom Street. English actress Linda Lusardi, charming photo shoot 1979. Little Rock, Arkansas, circa 1910. New Capitol Hotel, Markham Street. A century later, the building looks much the same, although it's lost the new May 29, 1925. Central High Rifle Team. Rumor has it these girls are loaded. December 1941. Washington, D.C. Christmas shopping in Woolworth's 5 and 10-cent store record department. Chicago circa 1955. Elevator engineers. A job that has its ups and downs. Fresno, California, circa 1915. Auto tourists and fruit packing district. February 1953. Actress Esther Williams and cast of the film Easy to Love rehearsing and filming water skiing sequences at Cypress Gardens, Winter Haven, Florida. An interesting look at San Francisco car culture circa 1934. Ocean Beach Playland Red Bug and Cliff House on Great Highway. July 1943. Glen Echo, Maryland. Swimming pool in the Glen Echo Amusement Park, where most of the swimsuits aren't swimming. San Francisco circa 1922. Mrs. Maxwell and Chalmers. Carrying, or wearing, the banner for two car brands not long for this world, and whose assets would form the basis of the Chrysler Corporation. From August 4, 1954, we bring you what seems to be an editor in the tobacco-friendly newsroom of the Chicago Sun-Times, awaiting his ID from any fellow ink-stained wretches out there. October 7, 1952 at Old Matt's cabin. Hubert and Sally at the Shepherd of the Hills homestead, a farm in the Ozarks made famous by Harold Bell Wright's 1907 book. (1920s) San Francisco. Gilmore Gasoline Service Station, where you can fill up with gas or water. Who can tell us where this is? July 4, 1933. New York City. Empire State Building from 41st Street and 5th Avenue. Washington, D.C., circa 1920. People's Drug Store, Soda Fountain, 11th G Streets. Grace Donald, November 11, 1951. Grace Tuttle and her soldier son Donald Cartwright, along with her Dalmatian, Sally, exactly 64 years ago in Blue Earth, Minnesota. Al Jolson and Cadillac touring car at St. Francis Hotel, San Francisco, 1927. May 28, 1963. Liberty Mutual Life Insurance Company, 444 Merrick Road, Lynbrook, Long Island. First floor, south wall. Washington, D.C., circa 1919. Roy F. Carty Group, 1407 14th Street Northwest. For Motor Mayhem Monday, we're back in Oakland circa 1958, with a Ford punching above its weight. San Francisco, California, 1926. Market Street from Ferry Building. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. American actress Jane Mansfield, 1955. English model Gail McKenna. Photo shoot by the Sea, 1989. Stunning Natalie Banas. Photo shoot, 1991. San Francisco circa 1924. Hudson Super 6 touring car. Utica, New York, circa 1910. Hotel Utica. Playing next door at the Majestic. The Fortune Hunter. Circa 1902. Window and Girls Restaurant, National Cash Register Company, Dayton, Ohio. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1960. Portable TV. RCA Victor, Sportable TVs, the research department informs us. The set's so light, you can lift it with 3 hands. From circa 1950s Columbus, Georgia, comes this uncaptioned news archive negative of a young man and his dugout, evidently crafted in the basement. September 1938. Wife of unemployed coal miner, suffering from TB, with her mother and children. Family living in old company store. Abandoned mining town of Marine, West Virginia. San Francisco, 1931. Hudson sedan at Golden Gate Park. Perfect accessory for dark clothes or dark moods. November 23, 1935. Washington, D.C. Henry G. Slaughter. ready for international bicycle ride. Supported by those interested in publicizing the Inter-American Highway. Detroit circa 1900. Smith Yendall Grocers. We're back in 1950s Oakland as we return to the scene of yet another accident. Hudson meets lamppost after being hit broadside. Detroit circa 1912. Elliott Taylor Wolfenden Company Millinery Department. Circa 1906. Beacon Street at Bowdoin, Ward 6, Boston, Massachusetts. Circa 1953. It's another day and another accident at 10453 Avenue X in Oakland, California. July 1943. Glen Echo, Maryland. Climbing the ladder to the sliding board at the Glen Echo swimming pool on a hot day. Washington, D.C., 1919. McCrory's 5 and 10 cent store, 7th Street NW. November 25, 1924. Washington, D.C. Orphans of Des Moines, Washington, at tourist camp. October 14, 1939. Hit that line, co-ed! Captain Alice Shanks, carrying football, running behind good interference as the young women from Western State College staged their annual Powder Bowl game on a mountain gridiron in Gunnison, Colorado. May 16, 1962. Television actor Andy Griffith at his summer home on Roanoke Island, N.C. San Francisco, 1929. Franklin sedan at Pioneer Park, Telegraph Hill. September 1942. New York, New York. Waiting for the 3rd Avenue Elevated Railway at East 89th Street about 8:45 a.m. September 1942. New York, New York. Looking west from the 17th Street station at the 3rd Avenue Elevated Railway as a train leaves on the local track. San Francisco circa 1924. Buick sedan at Lafayette Park Costumes. Chicago circa 1918. Michigan Avenue Blackstone Hotel and Grant Park. Oakland, California, circa 1957. Ambulance accident. Don't even ask what happened to the tow truck. April 1937. The Posey Building of Shawneetown, Illinois, in which Abraham Lincoln and Robert Ingersoll had law offices. The age-old battle of Ford versus Chevy, vintage 1957, played out under an expressway in San Francisco circa 1958. American actress Michelle Carey, 1964. (1952). Photo for U.S. Information Agency propaganda poster titled "I Choose to Be a Miner," distributed in Asia. Poster includes photographs of coal miner Walter Ward and family in David, Kentucky. From 1910 San Francisco comes this young lady and her Zoftig Zeppelin. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1952. Radio Cab Company. A fleet of two-door taxis, Ford mainline Tudor sedans. September 1952. New York. Photos show people looking at fashion model Doris Irwin as she walks down Fifth Avenue, just passing Bergdorf Goodman. Rockefeller Center, New York, 1939. Radio City Buildings RCA. The skyscraper known as 30 Rock. June 9, 1865. Negro freedmen by Canal Group of Contrabands at Haxall's Mill, Richmond. San Francisco circa 1927. Cadillac and swimmers at Fleischhacker Pool. New York circa 1915. Police tuba players. Halt or we'll toot. (1904). Hotel Velvet, Old Orchard, Maine. The seaside resort and its ocean pier. Circa 1890s Boston, Massachusetts. Bird's eye view of Charlestown Bunker Hill Monument. San Francisco circa 1925. Auto at Twin Peaks North Peak seen from South Peak. Oakland, California, circa 1957. Ambulance accident. Our second look at this mashup of a 1940s Cadillac, and it can now be revealed Studebaker Land Cruiser. July 1937. Sharecropper boy near Chesney, South Carolina. Oscar winner Cloris Leachman with her son Adam England. April 27, 1954. Actress Cloris Leachman at home with husband and baby. San Francisco circa 1927. Cadillac touring car with Fleischhacker Swimming Club, with someone who's either their coach or their mechanic. June 1938. On Highway Number 1 of the OK State near Weber's Falls, Muskogee County, Oklahoma. 7 children and eldest son's family. Washington, D.C., circa 1922. Sport Mart, 1303 F Street, NW. The Glen Echo Amusement Park Funhouse in Maryland circa 1925. San Francisco, April 1906. Memorial Church after earthquake. The chapel at Stanford University was eventually resurrected, but with significant alterations. Boston circa 1906. Mechanics Hall, Huntington Avenue. Demolished in 1959 to make way for Prudential Center. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. American actress Apollonia Cotero, charming 1980 photo shoot. American actress Apollonia Cotero, cube photo shoot 1978. Cute Karen Brennan, 1970s style retro photo shoot. Georgia circa 1956, and some junior league types at a country clubby looking bar with an unusual picture-in-picture mural. The tumblers say, Auburn. Marin County, California, circa 1925. Surf bathers at Stinson Beach. As for what's going on in the background, who can say? February 1965. My little brother with me and Mr. Machine, in a Kodachrome taken by Dad a few days after my birthday in La Habra, California. Not only is this slide still in good shape, so is Mr. Machine, and my brother too. Autumn 1964. Football fans at Leonia High School in Leonia, New Jersey. Circa 1955 in Columbus, Georgia. Switchboard is all it says here. Smile so they can hear it. Circa 1955 in Columbus, Georgia. Switchboard is all it says here. Smile so they can hear it. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1953. The Wit Store. Your headquarters for notions, sundries, gewgaws and baubles. San Francisco, 1921. Sonora Fire Department, Tuolumne County. REO truck at Engine Company No. 15 Firehouse, California Street. Oakland, California, circa 1957. Wrecked taxi at school crossing. Note the crossing guard at right. Featured players in this curbside drama include a 1957 Chevy, Plymouth taxicab, and 1953 Buick, supported by a trio of 1955 and 56 Ford police cars. Circa 1904. Surf bathing at Easton's Beach, Newport, Rhode Island. Oakland, California, circa 1957. Late final. Circa 1927. Chrysler Roadster at San Francisco Public Library with racing drivers. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1958. Highway detour. Note the Greyhound bus terminal that looks like someone's screen porch. Also, a big microwave relay tower. Continuing our circa 1958 visit to Columbus, Georgia, Entertainment Committee is all it says here. See y'all at the mixer. From circa 1920 comes this uncaptioned view of an early motorhome taking on water at the Federal Truck Agency in San Francisco. May 1942. Southington, Connecticut. A street scene. New York circa 1905. Dreamland Park shooting the shoots, Coney Island. From Columbus, Georgia, comes this circa 1953 image of what seems to be a Christmas party at a laundry. Be of good cheer, and a happy Yuletide to all. May 1942. Southington, Connecticut. Thomas J. Murphy, chief of the fire department, and its only salaried member, chatting with one of the volunteers. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1955. Helen Smothers is all it says here. The world of Helen is tidy, organized, and monogrammed. San Francisco, 1918. Buick at Japanese Tea Garden, Golden Gate Park. Dominatrix footwear on the left. My sister and me, riding away on rental bikes on California's Catalina Island in June 1965. Kodachrome slide by Dad. Plymouth vs. Ford on the streets of Oakland circa 1957, with a battered bystander in the distance. New York circa 1905. Harlem River Speedway and Washington Bridge viewed from High Bridge. Oakland circa 1959. Crash at London Lodge, somewhat to the west of Buckingham Palace and the Houses of Parliament. Who can identify the diminutive foreigner? Columbus, Georgia, circa 1962. Youth Club Boys. This has all the earmarks of a church project. Brown-haired charmer, Dawn Grayson, photo 1963. Jacksonville circa 1910. Bisbee Building on Bankers Row. The city's first skyscraper, still standing on Forsyth Street. Oakland, California, circa 1956. Ambulance at collision. The age-old rivalry of Ford versus Chevy. From an Ektachrome slide given to me many years ago by friends of my parents. Does anyone know where this is? The date imprint says, Deck 60. Another Oakland water hazard, circa 1958. Accident, San Pablo Avenue. Syracuse, New York, 1907. Vanderbilt House, with credit parlors, billiards, a bowling alley, and trunks just around the corner. Washington, D.C., circa 1937. Children's Hospital Rotary. The young man hooked up to a Cambridge Instrument Model X900 thingamabob. Chicago, circa 1964. Marina City. The high-rise apartment towers on the Chicago River, and a compendium of balcony decorating ideas. Meanwhile, back in circa 1958 Oakland. Accident, 26th at Valdez. A sailor suddenly very much in his element exiting a Chevrolet with a flooded engine. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1956. Boys Club picnic. RC Cola outlier on the left, and he's armed. San Francisco, 1921. Sonora Fire Department, Tuolumne County. REO trucks at Engine Company No. 15 Firehouse, California Street. Louisville, Kentucky, 1969. O.J. Stivers Elementary on Westport Road, aka the Cardboard Penitentiary. I'd got those great plaid pants on, front row, to the right of the school sign. I'm not pleased to be there. Chicago. January 25th, 57 Grimes Case Dash. Mrs. Minnie Duros. And so after O.J. Stivers Elementary, it was off to Withers Elementary in Dallas. How about dem Cowboys? I'm dead center in the second row. Sadly, only 1 year here, then off to Cincinnati. The teenage sisters were missing for 25 days before their naked, frozen bodies were found the morning of January 22, 1957. Grimes case January 25, 57. Their murder remains unsolved to this day. San Francisco circa 1915. Sutro Baths. Spectators viewed to small pools. As long as we are sharing school photos, this was my first grade class at James Buchanan Elementary in Levittown, Pennsylvania. The date is May 1961, but that is not our classroom. We were in room 5. Chicago circa 1958. American Cancer Society Circus Lion Tamer. Would you take a check? Castro Valley, California, circa 1958. Accident, 7 Hills Road. 1 sunburned 55 Ford Fairlane, saved. April 1942. Hollywood, California. Used car lot. All clues point to the street address being 1541. But what's the street? Philadelphia circa 1904. Broad Street. Masonic Temple and Arch Street Methodist Church, north from City Hall. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. British photo model Suzanne Mizzi, photo shoot 1985. Another photo shoot for the lovely Gail McKenna 1986. Cute Jane Mansfield, 1960s vintage photo shoot. New York circa 1905. High Bridge and the Speedway looking south. San Francisco circa 1921. Lexington Minuteman 6 dealer window, Van Ness Avenue. November 1940. Street scene on a rainy day in Norwich, Connecticut. August 1939. Medford, Oregon. Half-grown farm boy on main drugstore corner in town. San Francisco circa 1920. Three gents in a dusty touring car with Arkansas and Colorado tags, and Yellowstone National Park windshield pass. November 1940. Main Street intersection in Norwich, Connecticut, on a rainy day. January 1939. Reception room, office, script writer's room, small and large studios, and sound control room. These actors are members of the cast from My Dear Mr. President. October 2nd, 1960. Lower Station, Angels Flight, Third Hill Streets, Los Angeles. Last remaining cable railway in the city of Los Angeles. San Francisco, 1918. Buick at Japanese Tea Garden, Golden Gate Park. Circa 1904. Boston, Massachusetts. Back Bay from the State House Dome. May 1938. Store, La Forge, Missouri. Your source for Ben's baby bowel corrective. October 1938. Ice at refreshment stand, State Fair, Donaldsonville, Louisiana. June 1942. Tracy, California. Gasoline filling station. With a beauty parlor for major overhauls. Circa 1908. Ashman Street, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. June 1942. Tracy, California. Tank truck delivering gasoline to a filling station. January 1941. Playing outside trailer home in Sarasota, Florida, trailer park. San Francisco. Cadillac Coupe. May 1938. General Store and Railroad Crossing, Atlanta, Ohio. July 1941. 5 o'clock crowds, Chicago. Noir in the afternoon. Washington, D.C., circa 1925. Ashdown, Mrs. Raymond. June is just around the corner, down the stairs. Circa 1905. New York Central Railroad Station, Rochester. July 8, 1960. New York City views. Seagram Building Plaza, from 400 Park Avenue roof. May 26, 1925. General Pershing at Arlington National Cemetery. Standing watch. Mass for the Navy's wireless station, built in 1912 at Fort Myer. August 1939. Grants Pass, Oregon. California Day. A picnic in Town Park on the Rogue River. Hot summer afternoon. June 1942. Industrial safety. Accident prevention. The employee who carries in such a way as to obscure his vision is not saving time, he is endangering himself and his fellow workers. Summer 1938. Utopia Children's House, Harlem, New York. Fabulous English model Heather Mills, 1987. Palm Beach, Florida, circa 1894. Hotel Royal Poinciana, Lake Worth. San Francisco, circa 1930. Grant Avenue at Sacramento Street. San Francisco, March 1940. Built as the largest and safest office building in San Francisco. I don't know what year my grandfather took this photo of the Pennsylvania Capitol building, but I'm guessing it was 1940.